Ladies and gentlemen, right here for the first time appearing on this platform, the Arima Broadcasting Network, a popular figure in Trinidad and Tobago. He needs really no introduction. He is a pioneer in education. He is with the company CZITT, and this is none other than Donald Baldeosingh. Mr. Donald Baldeosingh, happy Republic Day to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me on the program.
It's a pleasure indeed.
Thank you. I commend the work of the Arima Broadcasting Network and bringing people together.
Thank
in
you,
this
sir.
way. However, I feel like a number 7 batsman coming in after Bravo and Pollard and all of them came in and hit all the sixes. But I will try to do my little part of the team as well.
Every position on the team right now is vital.
Thank you very much. So,
Yes, sir.
I am a product of Arima, and many years ago, I spent time sitting in Mr. Saunders' lessons class for physics, and he's never let me go since then, and I appreciate that very much, Mr. Saunders. So, the thing I wanted to talk about is really topical at the moment, and Mr. Garcia alluded to it earlier, the business of online teaching. We have something like 100,000 secondary school students stranded at home at the moment without normal access to their classes and the other things they get out of going to school, the social interaction and the school feeding program and all of these other parts of it. We at CZITT, which is pronounced CZITT as in grab it and hold it, is the Carbon Zero Institute of Trinidad and Tobago. We have been working with the secondary schools in the business of climate change awareness and action. And why we chose the secondary schools is because those students are able to make change happen more rapidly than most other demographics. Why? Because in a few years, they will be in positions where they can adjust the way that we operate. And right now, they're in positions to influence their families and their peers and their groups along the pathway that we need to adjust. So we in one generation have spoiled a lot of things for the planet, and we are handing it to them. So we feel that we should have a responsibility to better equip them to handle what is coming in terms of climate change. So 3.5 years ago, we formed this non-profit called Carbon Zero Institute of Trinidad and Tobago. And we started working with schools. We've had more than 500 individual activities with a school in Trinidad and Tobago, and we started expanding out into the Caribbean. One of the big things we've had is the National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz, in which in the first season we had 143 schools taking part. And we showed it on national television as 8 one-hour shows, and then in 24 Caribbean countries afterwards. So we had just finished taping the season 2 of this quiz when the country went into lockdown. And feeling for these secondary school students and students in general who now were stranded, we decided to start creating content for them to look at while they are home. So we started with environmental science at the CAPE level. We broke down the syllabus into topics, and then we created videos on those topics. We came up with 52 topics to cover the whole CAPE syllabus, and we contacted 18 university students who were also stranded and who had worked with us in the past, and they started working with us in creating content. That grew to 60 content developers and 500 videos that we put online onto this platform called CZITT-ed.org, CZITTEd.org. And we made them freely available to the CAPE students for the 2020 examinations. The impact has been tremendous. we keep getting feedback from the students that during that time when they weren't having classes, they were able to go and cover their whole syllabus for these CAPE subjects, right? By working online with us. Now we are expanding this into more videos, more subjects. We're expanding outside of CAPE, and we have information on beekeeping on the platform now.
Excellent.
The reason is that we have targeted the platform as the UN is pushing education for sustainable development. So the idea is to be able to cover their academic requirements and to help them along the pathway of sustainability.
Sustainable.
Beautiful.
Now we're putting some more innovation, like we're working with an organization in India to put testing onto the platform. And it's based on artificial intelligence that is able to detect if a student is cheating during the exam. And it's being taped, so then the system will flag to go back and look at what that student was doing during the exam, so that we can have a transparent system of testing. We're also working on additional innovation that can help a student, a parent, or a teacher to use our content in preparing their whole study plan, their whole lessons plan to cover the content of CAPE at the moment. That's what we do.
Wow, it's quite a lot of work you're doing. Tell us a bit more about the beekeeping aspect, and that is for sustainability, so that they can actually earn a revenue.
Well, the idea is that we have to think about ways to create employment, create an export product, earn foreign exchange that are outside of what we have been doing. Now, beekeeping is still it's a very important part of industry in Trinidad and Tobago, but it's literally a dying industry because climate change is affecting the bees, and we need to boost the bee population. You know, if all the bees disappeared, all the humans would die. But if all the humans would die, the bees would flourish. So
that's right.
We teamed up with an organization in St. Lucia that had a program to go and conduct beekeeping courses in 7 Caribbean countries. They cannot do it because of the travel restrictions. So we are putting their content online and making it available to the world. And the other thing is that we are working on a project to recover the bees that live inside the electricity poles. Do you know that there are thousands of bees living in thousands of electricity poles in the country? And it's considered a pest, and they are killed when the line needs to be maintained. So our project is to go to the electricity poles, recover the bees, and the persons who take our beekeeping course will receive a hive at the end of the course, so they can start their operation right away.
Hey, this is awesome. Tell us a little bit more about your carbon zero operation and the initiative.
We believe that COVID-19 is going to go away at some point. We'll have a vaccine, we will have treatment. We have a very difficult period we're going through, at the end of which we would conquer COVID-19. Climate change is not going away. Climate change is marching along. And yesterday they were saying that the level of ice that is melting now can raise the ocean by 2.5 meters. Can you imagine what happens in low-lying territories? I was on a call with some UN agency earlier today, and we're doing work in Cali Bay. Cali Bay could disappear. A big part of central Trinidad, the water would come in. We see what happened in Cedros already. We do not need anything else to tell us we have to take action on climate change. Trinidad and Tobago is around the 2nd highest producer of carbon emissions per capita.
That's right.
And we cannot escape having to take action. Yes, it means big change, but you know what? Big change has been thrust upon us. Our oil and gas industry seems by by divine order is declining on its own. And it's declining at a time when the world is losing its appetite for hydrocarbon. So we really need to start thinking about what are we going to do in this new world that's coming at us. And after having spent more than 100 years of producing carbon through our oil industry and then our gas industry, we can transform our economy to removing carbon. And here what?
Truly.
It doesn't matter if you're in New Zealand or Australia or Canada, if you remove a ton of carbon from the atmosphere, it's the same. And therefore, we have the opportunity for an export market that comes right to us by putting effort into carbon removal and getting paid for it. It seems almost wrong that we should be paid to remove carbon after putting so much in the air. But it's something the world needs to do, and it's available to us.
Yes, I must say Donald is one of the innovators with respect to that environmental concern, and we hope he he gets funding, green funds, whatever funds, but definitely as he speaks about sustainability, that is one of the important concerns, especially in country, to be able to sustain employment, so that even when COVID comes, there is sufficient in the economy, so that those who are the at the baseline do not go under. And it's innovations and new ideas, as Donald is speaking about. We can begin to tap on and get people thinking outside of the box and coming up with new ideas, to ensure that we have an economy that is not stalled, but is expanding as new ideas and new ways of doing things, emanating.
What is it?
Well, thank you for sharing with us.
We have to embrace the new.
That's right.
Absolutely. Indeed. We thank you for sharing with us this evening on our special, and we'd like to have you back. We'd like to see you back on the platform pretty soon so we can get some more info, more insights into the great work that you're doing. We appreciate you.
I'll be delighted. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
That was Mr. Donald Baldeosingh of CZITT, talking about the carbon emission and so on, how we could get rid of it. Of course, a great educational drive initiative that they're on. And we really appreciate having him join us here on the show today.